It's time to get the Envisaged deco for my cat. Alright, it's finally time to do KIRARA'S Envisaged deco. Been putting this one on the back burner for months, and I ain't gonna lie, I was not looking forward to it based on some of the comments I'd seen about how you have to turn her into a DPS to do this challenge when she is clearly not built to be a DPS. This scared me because my KIRARA is by far my least built character out of any character who has an Envisaged deco so far. I have a refined 1 Favonius sword on her, with her talents going on an average 7-8-7 ratio, and I only have 2 constellations on her as well, despite her only being a 4-star, and worst of all, I have a bunch of level 0 artifacts on her going in, so yeah, I was worried. Thankfully, those worries turned out to be somewhat unfounded, and this challenge was very possible even for me, so let's get right into it. The first phase is actually worth going through real quick. A lot of these first phases are pretty easy, and this one is no exception. You'll still likely get it on your first try if you have maximum stamina. Still, it can be a little tricky, as you do have to recognize when it's best to simply stop running and let your stamina recharge, especially considering the fact that unlike some of the newer Nat Lane characters, Kirara does use stamina when running up or along walls with her elemental skill. If you just stop here and there and just walk instead of run to ensure you get stamina recharge so you don't ever have to stop outright and just wait for it, you'll be fine. If you need to, you can copy my pattern here that you're seeing step by step. I actually missed where the last electro particle was and had to look around for it for a moment, and I still had over 10 seconds to spare. You'll be fine, I promise. But now it's time to talk about the combat challenge. Thankfully, much like Ganyu's, explaining it is real simple. There's no waves to it like with Kaching or Diluc, it's just 3 samurai bros. They spawn when you start it, and you win when you beat them. Simple as that. Now, as you have probably guessed, even the developers realized that Kirara is not an outright DPS like Diluc, so they decided to put this challenge in Duelist Kingdom and give Kirara a field power bonus by having the entire fight take place in this oversized puddle, meaning everyone is going to be affected by Hydro the entire time, which translates to all of Kirara's damage getting bloom reactions. This means that even though you do have to kill these goons within the time limit, which is 60 seconds by the way, the only stat that matters for this is Elemental Mastery, not so much attack or crit like usual. As you can see from this attempt here though, my build just wasn't cutting it. My artifacts, and from what I understand, most of the artifacts that most people have on Kirara, focus on maxing out her HP to take advantage of her talent, which increases her damage of both her elemental skill and burst for each 1000 HP she has. But for this challenge, this is a trap, since your damage is going to be coming primarily from the bloom reactions rather than Kirara's abilities themselves. Upon realizing this, I promptly stole all of Nahida's artifacts and put them on my cat, which ended up working real well. Deepwood Memories is 100% the play here. Not only is the flat increase in Dendro damage simply superior to the bonus you get from having higher HP from what I can see, but the 4-piece set for Deepwood Memories is huge for how you're going to want to approach this challenge. So that's what I actually recommend walking into this challenge with. 4-piece Deepwood Memories with as much elemental mastery as you can get. Once I did that, it was real easy, even without needing to level up her talents anymore or change her sword. The goons are gonna spawn more towards the left side of the room, which is ultimately where you're gonna want to be. That's because these guys have lunging attacks that can travel long distances, so you're gonna want to take advantage of the closer proximity to the nearby cliff walls that the left side of the room has to make sure none of these guys get catapulted off into the next dimension. Like with most of these challenges, the idea is to group them up and keep them grouped up until they're dead. The strat you're gonna use is real simple. Just hold your elemental skill and walk from one of them to the other, triangulating them. Touching them with your elemental skill like this is gonna count for the Dendro resistance from Deepwood Memories, and will also ensure that the bloom reaction continues to go off, which should hopefully be doing some solid damage by hooking her up with some good elemental mastery. That's literally all there is to it. Feel free to just throw out your elemental burst whenever you get it. You'll probably get it only once, maybe twice max, but there's no need to time it or save it for anything. And yeah, just throw in some normal attacks when your skill is on cooldown before rinsing and repeating. After switching over to some Deepwood Memories with some elemental mastery focus, I had over 15 seconds to spare on my first attempt. She literally just needed to steal Nahida's artifacts. Like I said, the Favonia's sword isn't even helping in the elemental mastery department. Throw an elemental mastery sword on her if you don't have like the perfect artifacts, perfect main stats or anything like that. And just like that, until they add some more of them next update, I am now the proud owner of every echo in the game. And I hope that thanks to my guides, you now are too. Look at it! Look at how majestic it is! Look at it!